Today I'm going to be showing you how to change the background image, or text in this case, on a Notifier NFS2-3030D or a NCA2. I'm not sure if this works on the original NCA and original 3030 because I don't have one, but this is the exact same on the CPU and the NCA. I'm just going to be using the NCA in this case because I can get it system all normal so you can actually see the end result. So what you're going to need is you're obviously going to need an NCA or CPU. You're going to need a USB cable with the standard USB on one end and this plug on the other. This is the same plug you would use to program a Firelight MS580 or 10UD or 9200 or anything like that. It's just a standard printer plug. Yeah, simple cable. And you're obviously going to need verifier tools. Now I cannot give you a link to verifier tools or anything like that, so if you really want to find it, you can find it online. We're going to be using version 5.71. This is the only version I know of that doesn't need a license key, but it still works with the hardware that I have, so this is the version we're going to be using. So the very first step is, as you can see, the NCA here, system all normal. I have one set there, just shows what we're going to be doing. Now if you go to main menu, as you can see, that only pops up when the system is all normal. You press graphics screen and you'll get the banner to display there. So the first thing we're going to be doing is, if I pull this down a bit, you'll see there's a USB plug right there. There's also a mini USB. I'm not sure if that'll work. I assume it might, but I don't really know. You're just going to go and plug one end of the USB cable right into there. And don't plug the other end in yet. So if you're going to be using a desktop, you're probably going to get a ground fault, which isn't really recommended. And if you're going to be using a laptop, make sure you unplug it from the wall. But obviously make sure it has good enough battery so it doesn't die right in the middle of the image transfer, because that could be bad. So you're going to want to go ahead and open up verifier tools. As you can see, I have it open here right to the new session page. Now you can go ahead and just plug in the panel after it's open. Doesn't really matter when you do it, but alright, so the very first thing you're going to do in the software here is select local network. You just click on that. Make sure you get the panel plugged in before you press that. Now once you see this page right here, you're going to have to come over on the right hand side here where it says Node 0, NCA-2 or CPU2. You're going to left click on it once, then right click on it. You should see where it says login. And I'm going to use the default password for my CPU, which is 8 zeros, and then you can press OK. Obviously if your CPU has a different password, then you change it to that. It should say master right there. You're going to want to put in the password for the master, not a user account, so you have full permissions. Once that's done, you'll see that all the options are available now. None of them are grayed out. You want to make sure it says downloaded to node, application. Then you're going to want to select up here and select banner. And once that's selected, before we actually choose the banner, we have to make it. So how we do that is you're going to click on utilities right here and come down to banner editor. This is just going to go ahead and open up a Microsoft Paint window here, and you will see that right here is the banner. It's an auto generate one. You can just go ahead and make that a little bigger. Just so we know that it worked, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that text and just copy the Notifier logo. Just like that. You can do whatever you want here. You don't have to keep the line. You just have to make sure it stays 240 pixels by 128. If this changes, it will not accept it. And you have to also make sure it's monochrome. You cannot put color on this, otherwise it will not accept it. So now once you're done editing it, you can hit File, Save. Now once you press that, it's going to put you in the Verifier Tools Databases folder. If there's already one of these here, I would just rename it so you always have the default one. So I'm just going to rename this to default, and then make sure it's actually named NFS2-3030 all norm, and then hit save. Now you can go ahead and close that window and make sure all your settings are still here. Make sure they're banners, application, downloads node. Now hit browse, and now you're going to want to move this window over a little bit. Make sure you're in the databases folder. If you're not, you can kind of select here to whatever folder you saved it into. And we're going to want to make that a little bigger, and that one's that default one. This is the one we just made, so you're going to do that one. You can just double click on it and the window should go away. You're going to want to double check and make sure this is the correct hardware you have, and the last thing we're going to do is just press download. Once you press that, you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff happen on the screen there, and you're going to see this pop in the bootloader. Now it's going to beep quite a bit. The acknowledge button does not work. You're going to have to wait till it pops up with acknowledge. Then you can just press the soft key for acknowledge. Now do not do anything. Don't press reboot or anything. Just wait for it to start initializing the download. If you look up on this right here, it'll show some of the steps it's doing, and it shows percent complete. If you look back on here, as you can see right there, it's showing how far along it is. And once it's completely done, it's going to say it's done the software, and then you're basically done with the software at that point. It's going to do a quick lamp test. Then it's just going to do some self-testing and all sorts of stuff, and you're just going to go ahead and wait for it to completely reboot. And make sure you do not unplug the power or do anything like that. Just let it completely do its thing. Don't try to reset it or unplug power, because that could seriously mess up the firmware, and it could technically brick it. If you're interested, that's where it shows the boot version and the SVC pack and all sorts of stuff. This is the most important part, that you don't power it off, because that can literally kill your 3030. And right here, as you can see, it's going to check the database. This will normally take a second, and it should pass. If you just factory reset this thing, it might not pass, but that's okay. I'll have a completely separate programming tutorial for this thing, so make sure you check out that. I also have videos on how to enable and disable points and wire it and all sorts of stuff. So as you can see, it went back to the notifier screen. It's almost done rebooting. This panel takes quite a while to actually boot up. It's not really meant to be turned off very much. But after a minute, it should come up to system all normal. And there it goes. You can see a little logo there, and it's all system all normal. Now I think it'll automatically go to the graphics screen, but I'm just going to go ahead and press the button. And there it goes. As you can see, the custom thing we did was in there. You can do whatever you want. You can draw stuff. You can put in. You can also drag in images in Paint, anything like that. You don't even have to use Paint. You just have to make sure you're giving it image file. But yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll probably have more videos just like this one coming soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.